There is Monreal now for Arsenal, just inside his own half as we reach the midway point of the first half. The Gunners leading 1-0. Lacazette with a goal on 14 minutes.
Newcastle need to find a little bit of a spark from somewhere, don't they? They seem to have gone a bit flat. They started well, pressing high, but now it seems they're a little bit on the back foot. The fact they're safe maybe playing a bit of a part in that as well, because so they don't have to win the game, do they? They just they've done their job in a sense. It's just like they don't get turned over big style today.
There's Mustafi for Arsenal, just inside the D on the edge of his own penalty area. Plays it out to the right with Chambers. Alan Chambers, who's played pretty much all the way across that back four this season. Here is Diame now on the halfway line for Newcastle. Stretches those long legs and tries to plough a furrow through the Arsenal defence. And then crosses for Dwight Gale. It's well watched by Mustafi. And heads the ball clear. Iwobi being closed down by Dummett high up the park. Managed to find Xhaka in space to his left, and now back to Iwobi, the Nigerian international. He will be very much part of the Super Eagles plans at the World Cup this summer. Monreal, the Spaniard, takes over down the left for Arsenal. Pats the ball forward for Willock. And it goes all the way back to Petr Cech in the all-pink strip away to our left-hand side. Check that trademark headgear. Plays it out to Holding, and now El Neni for Arsenal. Tempo just slowed as Willock takes over on the halfway line. Now Iwobi on the edge of the centre circle. Sprays it out down the right-hand side for Chambers. Back in field for Iwobi. Up against John Joe Shelvey. Plays it forward to Aubameyang, who's going to shoot from the edge of the area. Scuffed it. And it bounces up tamely into the arms of Dubravka.
It's unfortunate there. He's got himself in a really good position on the half turn again. He's just slipped like a few of them have so far this afternoon. I think it's wet on top, hard underfoot, so it's difficult to get your footing right sometimes. But Arsenal are keeping it very comfortably, aren't they? They're just picking their passes at will. And Modiami's putting a bit of pressure on, but I think he's the only one at the minute. I think Newcastle need to step on a few yards and up their intensity.
Yeah, since the goal, Arsenal really had to get out of second gear, which will be the concern for Rafael Benitez, the Newcastle manager. It's a pretty poor recent record, actually, against Arsenal. Benitez, one win in his last 9 against the Gunners. Here is Granit Xhaka for Arsenal, just inside the Newcastle half. Finds Chambers down the right once more, and then Iwobi with a cross into the area. The defending by Yedlin coming over from right back and side-footing the ball away. With Aubameyang and Lacazette loitering inside the penalty area. Neat bit of play from Perez to release Kennedy, but he's run into a crowd of blue shirts. And it will be played back now by Granit Xhaka to El Neni on the halfway line. 1-0 Arsenal lead. You're listening to Premier League Live with Talk Sport. Xhaka out to the left and Monreal. Now El Neni rolls it to his right, and Xhaka once more into Iwobi just on the edge of the box. Aubameyang tees up Chambers for the cross towards the far post, and was facing his own goal there. Lascelles, he's turned it behind for a corner. He could easily have put it past his own keeper.
It's a great cross from Chambers there in the danger area in between the keeper and the defenders, and he's done well there in the end. And Lascelles, that could have gone anywhere.
Yeah, hearts for him, mouths for the home supporters momentarily. Arsenal have their second corner of the opening 26 minutes or so. It's going to be taken from the right hand side. Chambers and Mustafi are both forward from the back, so too Holding. It's played in from the right hand side, but nobody in a blue shirt can make a meaningful touch, and it's cleared over the halfway line now by John Joe Shelvey, who just slid into the advertising hoardings. He made that clearance. Check with a left-footed punt up into the sky and out for a Newcastle throw. Just need something these Newcastle fans to get their teeth into. The atmosphere has certainly quietened since the Arsenal goal. Shelvey looking out to release Gal over the top. Well, he was in behind the Arsenal defence, Dwight Gal, but his first touch was just a touch too heavy, and it allowed Mustafi to come in and turn the ball behind for a corner. I wonder if he could have taken the shot on first time, Steve. If check was off his line, it would have been a difficult technique.
Yeah, it would have been a tough one, but that's what they needed, that little bit of spark. It was a great ball by John Joe, and Gal was nearly onto it, but Mustafi covered him well, I think.
It's Kennedy who comes across to take the corner over on the right hand side. It's going to be a left-footed in-swinger into the 6-yard box. Lejeune rose well. Equally good defending by Chambers, and now Arsenal come forward on the counter-attack, which is led by Iwobi. Played it over the top for Aubameyang. Dummett looks anxiously to his right for a bit of support defensively. Aubameyang with the cross which loops off Dummett into the arms of the grateful Dubravka. He's had a good season, Paul Dummett, the Welshman at left back. It's rolled out by Dubravka to Lejeune on the edge of the Newcastle penalty area. 16 minutes to go until half time. 1-0 Arsenal lead at St James's Park. The team have won their last 10 meetings against Newcastle, unbeaten in 12 in this fixture. Shelvey with the ball forward again, looking for Gal, and again he's in behind Mustafi. Lays it off for Yedlin with a low cross from Perez.
What a goal that is.
Super equaliser for Newcastle.
What a goal. And
it's Jose Perez with his 7th of the season.
John Joe Shelvey has found the pass there that no one saw, and that is an unbelievable ball. Dwight Gal was I'd say he's had a bad first touch because he didn't want to take it himself, but he's taken himself out wide and he's set the ball foot onto Yedlin, and it's a great pass. And Perez, that finish, that's top draw. A little bit of movement away to go forward, got across Mustafi, and what a finish into the bottom corner that is.
You know what though, Steve, it's not dissimilar in terms of an Arsenal perspective to the goal that they conceded early in the game against Southampton last weekend. It was Mustafi beaten at the near post. It's almost identical actually the way the ball has gone in. Shane Long it was who put Southampton in front. That goal from Perez is 3rd in as many matches to make it Newcastle 1, Arsenal 1. And we really have got game on now, haven't we?
I think that's the question we were talking about before. That's why Arsenal need to rectify what's going on at the back, because it happened last week, it's happened this week, it can't keep happening. The top defenders are not letting that happen week in, week out, and something has to be addressed. But let's not take away from the finish. The pass from to set the goal up, Dwight Gal's set. It's a great goal, very, very good goal. And the finish, people won't realise how good a finish that is, because he's only got a small area to hit, and he's done it with aplomb.
So Alex Lacazette giving Arsenal the lead on 14 minutes, but cancelled out just 15 minutes later by Jose Perez. Mustafi, who should have done better at the near post, plays it back to his goalkeeper Cech. They're always going to give you a chance, Arsenal, and that's why you feel the odds of them coming through against Atletico Madrid over 2 legs in the Europa League are heavily weighted in the Spanish side's favour. They just don't have that ability, do they, to shut up shop and make it difficult and try and stifle the opposition.
They just don't change, do they? They get a goal. They've been doing well, to be fair, but 2 passes there. They've got them in twice. Once Mustafi's just made a block. Second time Gal's got there, set it. It's only 3 passes in the back of the net. You have to do better there. You think they're playing Atletico Madrid. That's not, no disrespect to Newcastle, but Atletico Madrid are on a different planet to them at the minute, and it's that easy to score against Arsenal, and it has been all season.
A foul here by Lejeune, just went through the back of Aubameyang. Halfway inside the Newcastle half. Arsenal have taken the free kick quickly. Mustafi, and now Chambers down the right hand side. He's been
smashed,
dispossessed, and then an off the ball challenge that Steve Morrison said. Kennedy is the man who's gone down for Newcastle. And a bit of needle between those two, isn't there? Chambers and Kennedy in the early exchanges. Rafael Benitez in the spectacles out on the edge of his technical area, just issuing some instructions.
Just a talking to again by looks of it, is it?
Do you think he's forgotten his cards, Anthony Taylor? Because there's been 1 or 2 challenges that could have been more heavily punished in the opening 33 minutes here. Lejeune with the free kick. Again played in over the top of the Arsenal defence. That's clearly a weakness that Benitez has told his team to exploit. Here's Perez now, dribbling his way into the area and turning Chambers inside out, then trying to pull back the cross for Gale. And it was Willett, the 18-year-old, who made the crucial clearance. And then there's a free kick given away by Lejeune just inside the Arsenal half. But that was good play again by Jose Perez. His towel is up. Yeah,
definitely. And it's amazing that we look like we've found the key for Newcastle to get in. It's one long ball over the top. 3 out of 3 they've got in, and Perez, when he gets in there, his dancing feet's fantastic, and unfortunately he couldn't pick out a man in the box, and Lacazette got fouled on just on the halfway line, didn't he? So they can start again, but it looks like that's why Perez and Dwight Gale are up front, because they can play on the shoulder, and they've got players in the Newcastle team that can find them. And it looks like if you make the right run, you've got the right player on the ball, you're going to get in every time.
And here's Xhaka playing it out to Monreal in the left wing position. Now Willett into the feet of Lacazette, the Arsenal goal scorer, and then he rolls it to his left, and Xhaka trying to play it through again for Lacazette, who brought it down expertly, and then showed too much of it to John Joe Shelby, and again it's that long ball over the top, looking to use the pace of Gale up against Holding, trying to hold the ball up. Dwight Gale, he's in the end running out for a throw, looks a bit frustrated with himself. There were question marks, Steve, about Dwight Gale, whether he was perhaps one of those players who was almost too good for the Championship but didn't quite have the game to translate to the Premier League. He scored 5 goals this season, only 1 in his last 18. Can you see that?
He's a good player. Viewpoint? He's sharp, he's on the edge, he's a goal scorer. It's difficult when you're playing for the bottom of the half table team. You don't get as many chances, and you have to be a bit more clinical, but that's why players play it at that level, because that's about the level that they are. They're going to yo-yo between divisions, and they're going to go up and score some goals. Look at Murray at Crystal Palace. He's the same. But if they didn't have him this year, not at Crystal Palace, at Brighton, sorry, if he wasn't at Brighton this year, they'd have been struggling.
I think he's got 14 goals now, Glenn Murray, which is a staggering return in a team that don't play the most expansive football, as you say, don't create too many opportunities for their front men. Here's Lacazette. Certainly can't level that at Arsenal. 35 minutes play, 1-1 the score as Lacazette plays it out to his left-hand side now. Nenny, Monreal with a crossing chance, Shelby heads it clear, and then Chambers lets fly on the half volley. So cheers of derision from the Newcastle fans. It bounced tamely into the arms of their goalkeeper. 9 minutes to play until the break. Arsenal taking the lead through Lacazette, cancelled out by Jose Perez. Jesse White has been back on Twitter, says lightning doesn't strike twice, does it, Mr. Cech and Mustafi? And then in reference to the almost identical goal that Arsenal have conceded to the one that they fell behind against Southampton last weekend. Perez penalised for a foul on Xhaka. So free kick for Arsenal, a few yards inside the Newcastle half. It was a late challenge by Perez. Again, it could have been a yellow card, but no booking.
There's going to be loads of yellow cards in the second half.
once he finds him in the dressing room. Anthony Taylor, the referee. Xhaka is going to just stand this free kick up for Arsenal. And two of them gone each other's way there, Holding and Mustafi, and it bounces off Holding and behind for a goal kick for Newcastle.
There's the goal again. It's a great run, to be fair, from Dwight Gale. It's a great cross. It's literally just a sharp bit of movement from Perez that's got him in there. Mustafi's on his back foot. No chance for Jack.
Jose Perez, who made his 100th Premier League appearance in Newcastle's win against Leicester last time out. Scores for the 3rd game running. The ball is played long by Dubravka, headed back into the Newcastle half by Chambers, and then brought down by Lacazette. Back to Chambers on the halfway line. It's a nice ball out to the left, and Aubameyang. He's got Monreal making a good overlapping run. Aubameyang plays it into his fullback. Here's Willock. Back to Granit Xhaka, midway inside the Newcastle half. Away, tries to play it forward to Amneni. There's another late challenge from Lejeune on this occasion. A free kick now for Arsenal in a very central position.
It's a good area for a strike at goal here, isn't it? Right in the middle. It's a late tackle, to be fair. I don't think it's a yellow card, but it's a silly one. Just stand up.
Yeah, because he didn't really have much room to manoeuvre in.
No.
Alex Iwobi. Aubameyang and Xhaka are the two Arsenal players surrounding the ball, almost level with a penalty spot, within shooting range. Dubravka is leaning against his near post. Aubameyang looking for a 7th goal in 8 in the Premier League. It is a long way out. A chance to get some bend and movement. Aubameyang in the end fires it straight into the Newcastle wall. Xhaka over the top for Mustafi with a diving header, and Chambers should have made it 2-1. He slices the shot wide from inside the 6-yard box.
Switched off there, Newcastle, didn't they? It was the second ball that was the danger. It's a great head back across the box from Mustafi, and that's what I was saying earlier. People don't realise how tough that finish was that Lacazette made, because that's exactly the same finish, and the fullback, unfortunately, didn't have the technique to execute it. But second ball, you can't switch off there.
6 minutes to go to the break. Newcastle 1, Arsenal 1. You're listening to Premier League Live with Talk Sport. Don't forget you can tweet us this afternoon at Talk Sport Live. There's also a poll on our Twitter page. Who is your Premier League manager of the season? It's knocked into touch by Rob Holding for a Newcastle throw level with the Arsenal penalty area. Matt Ritchie comes across the far side but leaves it in the end for Yedlin. Yedlin into Perez. Monreal's turned the switch off, and here's Ritchie inside the area. Left-footed effort, comfortably saved by Cech.
Good bit of play there, wasn't it, from Perez again. Great little touch, and Ritchie's unfortunate there. It's a tough finish and there are lots of bodies around, but Cech did the job he needed to.
Aubameyang's been tripped by Yedlin just inside his own half. Free kick for Arsenal. Interesting battle over on that left-hand side between Aubameyang and Yedlin. At the moment, you'd say Aubameyang coming out on top.
Yeah, I think he's doing very, very good going forward, and he looks full of confidence now. He's set that goal up, and yeah, it'll be interesting, wouldn't it? Because Yedlin was the guy who put the cross in for the goal, so they've both played a big part in both teams' goals today.
Yeah, 1-1 the score as we move into the final 5 minutes of the first half. Remember, commentary of Manchester United against West Brom to come from Old Trafford. West Brom playing for no more than pride now. It's just a matter of time until their relegation is confirmed for the Championship. As Iwobi wins his team a corner. Arsenal's 3rd of this first half. And Mustafi with a chance to come forward and try to atone for the error that led to the Newcastle equaliser. Lejeune has taken up the responsibility of marking the German. Chambers is forward as well, and it's his header over the crossbar from 8 yards out.
It's a good chance that from Chambers. It's a decent ball into the box, good area. It's just got a bit too much on it. I know it sounds stupid, but if he just glanced at, the whole back post was open with no one on the back post. But
well, he hasn't scored, Callum Chambers, since his Arsenal debut. That was a 4-3 defeat, you may remember, against Liverpool on the first day of last season.
What a game that was.
Tremendous, wasn't it? You can really see a dull game when Arsenal are in town, in fairness.
Especially when they're playing Liverpool.
Rafael Benitez out issuing his instructions. Down on the edge of his technical area, the Newcastle manager. Still some conjecture about whether he will be here next season. Of course, there's issues behind the scenes with Mike Ashley trying to find a buyer for his shares, and a reluctance really to invest in the side. It'll be a tall order with this squad to comfortably establish themselves in the Premier League. Diarma's given away to Lacazette on the edge of his own area. Lacazette into Willock. Oh, what a moment for the debutant. He could have tapped it in for 2-1. He made a complete hash of the shot and scuffs it wide for a goal kick, and Mo Diarma is the most relieved man inside St James's Park.
Yeah, I think he chose the wrong option there, Lacazette. I think he's got to shift it onto his left foot and shot, because even though Willock's in maybe a slightly better position, that ball rolling towards you and side footing the other way is a tough skill, especially for the debutant as well, as you said. And Lacazette, he's just scored. He's got to take that onto his left and have a good strike there. He's on the penalty spot.
Well, that's off for Newcastle. 2.5 minutes until the whistle. Newcastle 1, Arsenal 1 is the score for those of you just tuning in. Dwight Gale nods it forward to Perez in space. Chambers did really well to come across and win the ball and then play it out off Perez, and it will be a goal kick for Newcastle.
Opportunity there from Perez, wasn't it? He should have done a little bit better. Should have found a pass. I think it was a mistake again by Arsenal at the back, not clearing their lines, and Newcastle got in the channel again.
Punt upfield from Mustafi for Arsenal. Goes over the halfway line but out of play. So throw in for Newcastle, level with Rafael Benitez's technical area. A beautiful build-up for that goal by Perez. John Joe Shelby must be on the plane to Russia for the World Cup. He's in the form of his life, says Mourinho Eze on Twitter. Doesn't look, Steve, as if that's going to happen now, does it? Having been left out for those last couple of friendlies.
No, I can't see it now. He's a very, very good player. As you've seen, he can pick a pass out of nowhere.
Does he come with a bit of baggage, but too much for Gareth Southgate, perhaps?
I think so. I don't think there's anything wrong with having a little bit of baggage. Sometimes it means he's on the edge. It means he plays with his metal all the time. But I think a manager likes to keep it quite safe.
Xhaka with a long ball forward for Arsenal, seeking out Aubameyang, but Yedlin stepped in and cleared it away for Newcastle into the last minute of the first half. It remains 1-1. Lacazette with a goal to give Arsenal the lead after great work by Aubameyang to tee him up. And Jose Perez at the end of an excellent Newcastle move, equalising 15 minutes later for the home team. Ritchie again looking to release Gale over the top of the Arsenal defence. Just skips away this time and tamely behind for a goal kick. It's clearly something, Steve, they've been working on in training, and that diagonal ball over the top in between the Arsenal defenders.
Yeah, it was unlucky there. Just skipped off, didn't it? But he was in again. It's got to be addressed. The thing is, what I don't understand from Arsenal's point of view, Newcastle have done it 4 or 5 times now and got in every time. Who in the back four is saying, we've got to stop this from happening, or let's do this to stop it, or change this? It just seems like they just go, oh well, we'll just defend it when it happens.
It's that lack of leadership that has been levelled at Arsenal for quite some time now. Petr Cech is the captain this afternoon, but not the most vocal of characters. We're into one added minute at the end of the first half. A reminder, this is the first of 2 live commentaries we're bringing you this afternoon. Manchester United against West Bromwich Albion from Old Trafford, following hot on the heels of the full-time whistle. Here is Dwight Gale for Newcastle. One last chance to put the Arsenal defence under pressure, but Xhaka slides in and regains possession for the Gunners, and he's back now with Mustafi just inside his penalty area. Forward for Xhaka, who rolls it back to Holding. Arsenal have completed almost 3 times as many passes as Newcastle. They've had the lion's share of possession, but the only statistic that really matters, as Anthony Taylor sounds the half-time whistle, is that the scores are level. Lacazette with his 11th goal of the season, giving Arsenal the lead on 14 minutes after great work from for Arsenal. Check the goalkeeper. Chambers holding, Mustafi and Monreal in defence. Xhaka and El-Neni in front of them. Iwobi, Willock the teenager, Aubameyang behind Lacazette, scorer of the Gunners' goal up front. We are back off and underway. Arsenal in possession with Chambers the fullback, 6 or 7 yards inside his own half. He plays it back to Mustafi, the German. Mustafi under pressure from Okia, so calmly sensibly back to the goalkeeper. As we possibly can. Your predictions of how the second half will unfold. Last 6. Arsenal have already made it for the last 4, over the 5 in a row. We've got since way back in 1984. Don Howe was manager then.
Half. Time off the first 2 minutes of this half and not got over the halfway line yet, so Newcastle sitting in their shape, doing their jobs, waiting for Arsenal to make a mistake by the looks of it.
I think it really is a game that's there for the winning for Newcastle. Arsenal with one eye on that Europa League tie against Atletico Madrid to come. The ball is played into the penalty area by Arsenal. There won't be penalised for a handball, so free kick for the home side. Remember, Jack Wilshere, Aaron Ramsey, Laurent Koscielny all left out the 18 altogether this afternoon by Arsene Wenger. They play Atletico in the Europa League next Thursday night, the first leg at home. Even that has gone against them in terms of they would have preferred to play at home in the second leg. Just looking at their league matches to come, they play West Ham at home next Sunday. You can only imagine what sort of team Arsene Wenger is going to send out against the Hammers. And then a trip to Old Trafford sandwiched between the two legs. Of that Europa League semi-final, so again you fancy Manchester United in that one, and they round off their season with a home game with Burnley and then trips to Leicester and Huddersfield on the final day. Does he care, Arsene Wenger, if they finish 6th or 7th? It would be pretty embarrassing for a club of Arsenal's resources to finish below Burnley in the league table, wouldn't it?
Does he care? I don't know. Should he care? Yes. If you're an Arsenal fan, you want to see your team winning, you want to see your team playing well. For me, he's got to be building for next season now. He's got to be working on what he wants, getting the players confident, getting the players enjoying playing. It could end their season 7th out of the Europa League in the next 2 weeks. What a bad season it'll be in the end. It's only going to be classed as any kind of success if they win the Europa League. It's all they've got. So I can understand why he's going to make some of the decisions he's going to make. As you said, imagine the team he's going to put out against West Ham. Imagine the team he might put out against Man United in between. It's a huge moment in the season for Arsenal, and Arsenal fans, I think we're going to hear them frustrated at times, but it could be really happy all in the same breath.
They're almost torn, I think, some of them, because they know if Arsene Wenger does win the Europa League, then he will definitely stay. I mean, the likelihood is he's going to stay even if they don't triumph in that competition, but if they were to end the season trophyless and outside the top 4, then there has to be a real case that Arsene Wenger's long tenure at Arsenal will come to an end. That goal they conceded in the first half, by the way, was the 800th that they've conceded in the Premier League since Wenger took charge. 1-1 the score. Some kind of milestone. Yeah. Just shows his longevity, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's a nervy ball out from the back by Holding. Sliced out of play for a Newcastle throw over on the left-hand side.
This is exactly what Newcastle want them to do. They've just been sitting in their shape. Newcastle just frustrating Arsenal, and then they start making sloppy passes.
Here's Lascelles, who's had an excellent season the heart of that Newcastle defence, even with talk of him perhaps making a case for an England call-up. There is Granit Xhaka for Arsenal, cantering forward towards the halfway line. El Neni, the Egyptian, switches it out to the left, and Lacazette. And Lacazette into El Neni. They swap positions, Lacazette. I
was just thinking exactly the same thing.
Aubameyang for this second half.
I'm not 100% sure. I'm not sure whether they've just... Aubameyang's made a run or something, and Lacazette's just filled in for him. It does look like it at the minute. Aubameyang's right up the middle, and Lacazette's out wide. Maybe they... something they spoke about before the game. You're going to do 45 in it, and I'm going to do 45 in it. So
that is experimenting for next season, isn't it? Lacazette here has got the chance to play it out to Iwobi. He's in acres of space over on the right hand side for Arsenal. First touch just takes him away from the penalty area, and he plays it to Chambers on the edge of the box. Lacazette showed too much of that to Diame, and now here comes Perez on the counter attack. He's got bags of pace, Perez, as well. Xhaka is tracked in gamely. He did really well, actually, Granit Xhaka, and the ball bounces off Perez's knee and harmlessly through for Cech. Should he have got his head up earlier, Perez?
I think he maybe should have come out and give the ball to Diame, who was cantering up behind him, but you know what he's like when he gets in there, Perez. He sees the lights, and he's got the ability that the next time he gets it, he'll mostly beat both of them and put it in the top corner. So who are we to say what he should be doing? But again, it was just a counter-attack from a sloppy pass from Arsenal.
So usually Millwall striker Steve Morrison watching Newcastle 1, Arsenal 1 here on Premier League Live. We played 7 minutes in the second half. The ball is at the feet of Joe Willock for Arsenal, tries to play it forward for El Neni, but the pass was heavy. Willock looks frustrated, and it's collected by the Newcastle goalkeeper. What have you made of his debut so far, the 18-year-old?
I think he's done alright. He's got lots of energy, he's run around, he's not been that great on the ball in terms of what Arsenal normally like on the ball, but he looks like a bit of a specimen and a very good athlete, and I think confidence and time will see him grow into be a very good player. But at a minute he's getting a bit frustrated because he's trying things. Maybe should keep it simple for a little while and grow into the second half.
Arsenal have now conceded 44 goals this season. It's the same as they let in the whole of the last campaign in the Premier League. Here's John Joe Shelvey launching it long upfield for Newcastle. Another lovely ball over the top for Perez, who brings it down neatly. Mustafi out-muscled and out-manoeuvred Perez, and it's collected by Cech now on the edge of his 6-yard box and bowled out quickly for El Neni. Once again, it was that long ball from John Joe Shelvey that put Arsenal on the back foot.
As you said before, I think Perez has just got to get his head up a little bit quicker. He's got in there 3 times now, and every time he gets too tight to the defender and he gives it away. And as I said, it's a very simple pass. They're getting in every time with it. They're just not doing a lot with it once they get it.
Here is Willock for Arsenal. Plays it back towards the halfway line, and holding Xhaka, tracked by Perez as he slowly comes into the centre circle. Now Mustafi is going to... well, he thought about going back for Cech. In the end he played it into Holding and almost gave it away to Dwight Gale. Here is Holding over the halfway line for Arsenal. Monreal clips it forward looking for Aubameyang. That was neatly read and intercepted by Yedlin. And now Jamal Lascelles with a chance to clear his lines for Newcastle. Holding keeps it in play on the touchline, then volleys it forward with the left foot. Well, it's collected by Aubameyang, but the offside flag was up on the far side. So a free kick for Newcastle. Not too much, Steve, for us to get our teeth into in the first 10 minutes of the second half.
No, definitely not. It's been a bit late. Arsenal have just kept the ball. Newcastle had a couple of moments, haven't they, where they nearly got in behind the Arsenal defence, but you said not a lot. Nearly a moment there with Mustafi. He was very close to not getting his pass away there, and Dwight Gale being in on goal.
2 managers, Arsene Wenger in his grey cardigan and Rafael Benitez in the 3-piece suit, both sat looking calm enough in the dugouts. Here is Matt Ritchie coming forward for Newcastle. Willock slides in and pokes the ball out for a throw. Ritchie is taken into Diame over the top for Yedlin with a chance maybe to cross here. It's good defensive play by Aubameyang, and he flicks it up and volleys it clear over the halfway line where it's collected by Lejeune. Shelvey now inside the centre circle, plays it to Lascelles down this right-hand side. Lascelles into the feet of Perez, who sweeps it out to Ritchie on the near side. Kennedy, we've not seen too much of in this second half, gives it away to Holding. And Mustafi, again a bit hesitant, allows Dwight Gow to block his clearance, and it loops up favourably for Dummett on the halfway line for Newcastle. Kennedy is going to try and put check under pressure. Ball just about rolled into the area and is collected by the veteran keeper. And here is Iwobi now at the other end. He's got Chambers bursting forward down the right. Aubameyang and Lacazette to aim at in the middle. Good ball from Chambers, headed across the 6-yard box by Aubameyang, but cleared away by Newcastle. And as it played back into the area, Lacazette knew he was offside and had to let it run through to the goalkeeper, Dubravka.
It's a great ball in the box by Chambers, to be fair. Great header by Aubameyang. Lacazette, he made a decision to go across the goalkeeper's path, and the ball unfortunately went the other side, but good bit of play there by Arsenal, good bit of play by Iwobi to get Chambers out in the first place.
We'll play 12 minutes in the second half. Arsenal dominating possession, 77% to Newcastle's 23, but it remains Newcastle 1, Arsenal 1, both the goals coming in the first half. Lacazette putting the Gunners in front on 14 minutes. Jose Perez with his 7th goal of the season to level it up 15 minutes later. And Shelvey nodding the ball forward to Kennedy. He's got Perez and Ritchie ahead of him. Kennedy wriggling away from Mustafi and then looking for Gal inside the penalty area. Overhit the pass over the outside of the footman. Gathered by Cech on the edge of the 6-yard box. Kennedy got an ovation from the Newcastle fans for the effort anyway. Here's Monreal now, who plays it across his penalty area. The cardinal sin really for a defender. Mustafi lays it back to Cech inside that 6-yard box once more. Newcastle pressing high once again. Aubameyang facing his own goal up against Perez, or Yedlin rather, flicks it off the fullback, out for an Arsenal throw. Just wonder, Steve Morrison, when Arsene Wenger may look to freshen it up for the bench. Danny Welbeck, he's been in good goal scoring form, scored an excellent goal, didn't he, against CSKA in Moscow in the week. Could perhaps come on and inject some pace to the attack.
Yeah, looking at their bench, as you said, there's only seems to be Welbeck who you'd look to bring on. And Maitland-Niles might come on. He had an attacking threat from the back, but it's going to leave him exposed a little bit more. So trying to second guess what Arsene Wenger's thinking is very tough at the minute.
Here's Aubameyang coming in from the left-hand side for Arsenal. Trying to squeeze the pass through for Lacazette. Intercepted by the giant Diame. Now it's on the halfway line at the feet of Holding. Forward for El Neni. Gives it back to Holding once more. Mustafi switches the play out to the right-hand side. Xhaka goes down the line for Chambers. A good outlet for Arsenal so far. And he's found Iwobi down by the right corner flag up against Paul Dummett. Once again, Mo Diame blocking the cross and stepping in imperiously to clear it away for Newcastle. Dummett floats it forward towards the halfway line. It was an unconventional header by Mustafi, but he got the job done. And then a free kick for a foul by Diame. Steve Morrison not convinced.
I don't think it was on Diame, it was from the ball a long way before that, but Diame was on that, he was gone. He was gone, he read the situation, a bit of hesitancy from the Arsenal players, and Diame was on it, but it got called back for a foul a bit further away, which is disappointing, because I think that would have been 3-on-1 Newcastle.
Well, this game very much up for grabs. 1-1 as we reach the hour mark. At TalkSport Live is the Twitter address. Do get in touch and let us know exactly where you are listening. At TalkSport Live on Twitter. As El Neni screws a pass into touch over on the far side. El Neni, of course, creator of both Arsenal goals against CSKA in the week. Signed a new contract as well a few weeks ago. Newcastle with a long throw out from inside their own half. Gowder's played it forward, looking for the run of Ritchie. Monreal with some defending to do, and then was caught late by Matt Ritchie.
Yellow card, do you reckon?
Well, we haven't seen one yet, have we? Monreal down holding his shin, and again I think the referee is going to take a lenient view on this. It was a 5 foot by Ritchie. Most Premier League referees would have produced the yellow card.
I think it's a difficult one, isn't it? They've both gone for the same ball. He's just caught him just after. Monreal's reaction makes out like Richie's broke his leg, but he's made a rod for his back now, isn't he? The ref has not booked anyone, so it needs to be a proper foul now for it to actually be a yellow card, isn't it?
You don't get too many Premier League games now when not a single card is shown, but that's where we're at the moment.
It's not a bad thing.
No, absolutely. Here is Shelvey into the feet of Gow. Arsenal outnumbered once again here. 4-on-4 anyway. Gow a bit slow to release the ball, try to take on Holding and Xhaka. Holding slides in and wins it back for Arsenal. They've got to make the most of those situations when they have Arsenal on the back foot. Willock has gone down looking for a free kick, not given, and Shelvey again with the ball into the penalty area, asking Gow to chase. Chambers did well to get there ahead of the Newcastle forward, and Arsenal now playing their way up to the halfway line. Kennedy had too much pace though for El Neni. Lejeune flicks it forward for Kennedy, who uses his strength and holds off El Neni. Then Dummett out to the right from Yedlin. As the Newcastle fans find their voices once more, a win, remember, would take Newcastle above that magic 40-point mark that most managers set themselves as a target for safety. Good noise now inside St James's Park. Newcastle are readying Islam Slimani. Hasn't played too much football since joining on loan from Leicester due to injury.
But he gives them a completely different option, doesn't he? He gives them that threat aerially and hold the ball up a bit more.
He's more of a Steve Morrison type player, isn't he?
I wish.
Long ball upfield from Lascelles from a free kick for Newcastle. Gow couldn't hold it up and it's volleyed away by Chambers. Iwobi trying to keep the ball in, but it was watched out by Lejeune. He was actually linked with Arsenal last summer before his nearly £9 million move from Eibar over in Spain. Florian Lejeune. It's been a pretty solid afternoon alongside Lascelles at the heart of that Newcastle defence. It remains 1-1. We've played 63 minutes on Premier League Live. Team news coming up from our second commentary of the afternoon. Manchester United against West Bromwich Albion very shortly. And here comes Slimani for Newcastle. Right, Gow.
He's worked really hard today. He worked really, really hard. I think a couple of times when he's won the ball on the turnover, he's been so tired from his hard work defensively. He hasn't had the spark he needs going forward, but I think he's been very good this afternoon.
Getting a nice ovation from the Newcastle fans. It's only Slimani's second substitute appearance in Magpies colours since that move from Leicester. He's only scored one goal in his last 17 in the Premier League, the Algerian. But as Steve has already articulated, it will be a different threat now for that Arsenal defence. There's El Neni inside the Newcastle area, trying to pull it back for Aubameyang. It's hooked away and into touch for a throw. El Neni industrious as ever in the heart of that Arsenal midfield. The Newcastle fans trying to roar their team on here. It's going to be a throw though for Arsenal, just shy of the penalty area over on the right, so Chambers takes the responsibility. Iwobi trying to dance into some space. He's giving it to El Neni. It's all a bit congested on that right hand side, and Lacazette has just played a pass into no man's land, which Dummett was hoping would run behind for a goal kick. It doesn't, so Dummett clears it to the halfway line. First touch from Slimani is cheered by the home supporters.
That's a good one.
Ball that down the chest, and then he was fouled by Mustafi. So it's going to be a free kick for Newcastle, 10 yards inside the Arsenal half. He looks pumped up, doesn't he, Slimani?
Yeah, that'll do him the world of good as well. First ball come into him, he's laid off, kept it, and he's won a foul for his team. So it's something different for Arsenal to have to deal with, and as we've seen in the past, sometimes they struggle with that physical presence up front. So we'll see how he gets on. He'll free Perez up as well to get in space and get some more opportunities.
Shelvey with the ball forward. Lascelles wins the header inside the penalty area, cleared as far as Diame. And now Ritchie with a shot on the volley over the crossbar. Great technique from Matt Ritchie, just couldn't get the ball up and down quickly enough, and it's behind for a goal kick.
There's a first sign of a ball in the box. themselves this time winning it, and Richie, you can see what he wanted to do. He was unlucky, to be fair. It's a good strike, just didn't get the dip they needed.
He scored 2 goals this season, Matt Ritchie. He was very prolific in the Championship last year. Shooting boots at times have denied him as Arsenal win a throw just shy of the halfway line. Monreal, the left back, takes it quickly to Holding. And here is Mustafi, furthest man back in the Arsenal blue. El Neni back into the feet of Holding. 66 minutes played. Newcastle 1, Arsenal 1 here on Premier League Live. Mustafi into the feet of El Neni, and then he switches it out to the right, and Chambers gets it back from his full-back. Arsenal building slowly from the back. It's with El Neni once again, just inside the Newcastle half, a few yards in from the right touchline. And now here is Mustafi inside the centre circle for Arsenal. Good shape here from Newcastle as Arsenal try and pick their way through the black and white shirts. Iwobi's going to shoot from the edge of the area. Well, he had the goalkeeper Dubravka sprawling across his line, but it was always just wide of the bottom corner. Neat turn from Iwobi to buy himself some space, and he played a 1-2 off Lejeune before drilling that one wide.
Yeah, he was unlucky there. It's a tough though. He's got to go the other side of the keeper, near post there. It's a tough place to score. Keeper had it covered as well, didn't he? So he went under too much pressure there, the keeper. I think he had it well and truly covered.
Danny Welbeck is about to come on for Arsenal. He scored 3 goals in his last 2 matches to move into double figures for the season.
Will he take off Aubameyang or Lacazette, do you think?
I imagine it will be Lacazette again with that Atletico game in mind, just to rest him up. In fact, no, it's going to be Joe Willock who makes way. So his Premier League debut comes to an end after 68 minutes, the teenager. Danny Welbeck will come in and probably occupy that number 10 role. Very attacking move though from Arsene Wenger.
Yeah, definitely. I was just thinking that. The Welbeck come inside, I suppose. Welbeck would go
maybe wide right.
Yeah.
And Welbeck just organising things.
Oh, no, Welbeck's gone in there.
Does look as if he has gone in that number 10 role that was occupied by Willock. And Danny Welbeck gets 22 minutes to add to his goal tally for the season. But here's Ritchie in the penalty area, and Newcastle United take the lead. Well, he did it here against Manchester United, and Matt Ritchie takes down another of the Premier League big guns. The Arsenal defence carved open, and Ritchie with a right-footed shot lifted it over check to make it Newcastle 2, Arsenal 1.
Arsenal players, Mustafi again standing there watching. The big man's come on, won a header. Perez, great little touch to Ritchie. And to be fair, Ritchie with his weaker foot was a great finish, but
it's appalling defending, isn't it? Once more,
terrible. The ball's got in the air. He's just stood there and watched it. He's won the header. Ritchie, great finish to be fair with his right foot. Unstoppable for Czech.
Matt Ritchie's 3rd goal of the season. I mean, just that his finishing had let him down at times. He certainly didn't let him down there. Punches the air in celebration.
You break that goal down, Newcastle have done nothing to score it. Monreal's headed it in the air rather than away. Mustafi stood there and watched.
It was actually a poor header from Mustafi right at the start of the move as well.
And Newcastle have pounced, and when it mattered, Ritchie's finish was very, very good.
A typical Arsenal away day, really. And as it stands, they're staring down the barrel of a 5th successive away league defeat for the first time since 1984.
When they lined up again, Arsenal, Welbeck's gone out to the right and Iwobi has gone into that number 10 role now, so that's what we did think would happen.
And what have Arsenal got in the way of a response to falling behind? Xhaka finds Monreal inside the area, but he can only head the ball behind for a goal kick for Newcastle. The noise levels at their height now inside St James's Park. Newcastle, as it stands, will be moving on to 41 Premier League points. They'll only be a point behind Everton and only a couple of points behind Leicester. They could yet finish as high as 8th in the table.
It'd be a fantastic season if they manage that, won't it? And makes for an interesting last 20 minutes of the game now, because you'd like to think Arsenal are going to push on. And it's going to leave a few more gaps. I think there'll be a couple of subs from Rafa soon as well to freshen it up in the wide areas. Maybe see Murphy come on.
And that change, though, bringing on Slimani, certainly has made a difference.
I think his first 3 or 4 touches have been very good. Included a foul and a header to set up a goal.
Diego Simeone watching this, probably licking his lips from a defensive point of view. Arsenal all at sea on Tyneside.
It's like they're all waiting for someone else to do the job, all waiting for someone else to clear the ball, and they're not proactive, they're reactive to everything. And doing that at this level, you can't be like that, because you're going to concede goals, which they have done twice very, very easily.
They won't be mathematically safe from relegation with this win, Newcastle, but it's going to take a heck of an effort for the likes of Southampton and Stoke City to overhaul those 41 points. When you think they were in the bottom 3 when these two met back in December, Arsenal were a top 4 side then, at least on paper. Well, Newcastle's season has taken an upward curve. Arsenal very much on a downward trajectory. They trail by 2-1 as it's headed forward by Chambers. Iwobi plays it back to Monreal. Monreal forward to the halfway line. Lascelles steps in. And then Slimani trying to outmuscle Monreal, who just about kept possession for Arsenal. Xhaka passes it straight to Lejeune, but Welbeck picked up the loose ball. And Welbeck getting in behind Lejeune. Showed too much of it to Diarmi. He's had an excellent game, hasn't he? Patrolling the midfield for Newcastle. Good strength to get away from Chambers. And here's Perez. Dispossessed by Mustafi, high up the field. Xhaka forward for Aubameyang, who was barely mentioned in this second half. Now Granit Xhaka for Arsenal. Plenty of blue shirts ahead of him. Into the feet of Lacazette. Lays it off first time for Iwobi. Monreal with a cross. Aubameyang made a good run inside the penalty area, but it was well defended by Newcastle. And out for a throw for the Gunners.
Good bit of play there for Arsenal. A good bit of defending there from Lascelles. Stood strong, got himself in a very, very good area. Managed to take the ball on his chest and clear the ball. The Army, as you said, has been very, very good. He's broken everything up. And what I like about the Army is when he does break it up and there is a bit of space, he can drive into that space and can really start the attacks off for Newcastle as well.
No, he's not the worst passer of the ball either, the Army.
You could see him playing for one of the top 6 teams, definitely.
Well, he's better than Granit Xhaka.
Yeah.
Xhaka into El Neni. Now Aubameyang. Back to El Neni once more. John Joe Shelvey slices his clearance and it's picked up over on the right hand side by Chambers, but Dummett wanted it more. And then it's Newcastle coming forward down the left. Slimani has released the Quicksilver Kennedy. Just showed too much of that holding, who comes sliding in and wins the ball.
I'll tell you what, Slimani, since he's come on, he's working very, very hard, and when the ball comes into him, it sticks. He picks a very, very good pass out there. As I said, Kennedy just overrun it slightly, but he's trying to make a bit of a point, I think.
Open game now. Just played forward by Chambers towards the penalty area, cleared by Lejeune. And here's Kennedy now, just inside the Arsenal half. Slimani looking to release Kennedy again. It's a lovely ball. Kennedy's got the wrong side of Mustafi. Can he finish? It loops off Mustafi and onto the crossbar. That's how close Newcastle were to a third goal.
Great bit of play from the big man again. Slimani, he's had a real effect since he's come on. Kennedy's unlucky. Mustafi just got back and put a little bit of pressure on him, but still nearly went in as well, and it could have ricocheted anywhere. Perez was waiting there to tap the ball in, but just went to the Arsenal defender instead. Great game now, great game.
Well, third goal, you feel it really would be all over. 15 minutes to play. Newcastle 2, Arsenal 1 at St James's Park. Still to come on Premier League Live, we'll have commentary from Old Trafford. Manchester United taking on West Bromwich Albion. I'll run you through the two lineups in that game in just a moment. Here come Arsenal with El Neni. It's back with Holding for Arsenal. Slowly moves forward over the halfway line. Gets it back from Monreal. Again, Newcastle well drilled, well organised. More of a 4-4-2 now with Slimani alongside Jose Perez, the two goal scorers. Oh, sorry, Perez and Ritchie, the goal scorers. Slimani very much help provide for Ritchie. But they will have a bit of defending to do, Newcastle, to keep this lead intact, because here's Aubameyang inside the area, and again Diame, as Aubameyang just trying to roll it back for Lacazette. He wasn't on his toes, the striker, and Diame was, and turns it behind for a corner.
Saw the danger well there, Diame, because it's a great bit of play from Arsenal, and as you said again, Diame's long legs come to the rescue.
13 minutes to play. Newcastle 2, Arsenal 1. Corner for Arsenal is going to be taken by Granit Xhaka. Attacking the end where the travelling fans are gathered, but he's put it straight into the arms of Dubravka. And I can tell you in our second game, Manchester United against West Brom, United will line up with De Gea in goal, Valencia, Lindelof, Smalling and Young in defence, Herrera and Matic holding in midfield, and then Pogba, Matic and Sanchez behind Lukaku. For West Bromwich Albion, Foster the goalkeeper, Nyam, Dawson, Higazi and Gibbs in defence, Phillips, Livermore, Brunt, McLean in midfield, and Rondon and Rodriguez up front. 4-4-2, Steve. Bold move from Darren Moore, the caretaking manager.
He's got to try something good. They need to get as many people up the pitch as possible. Oh, great bit of play by Slimani.
Slimani's left Mustafi on his backside. He's pulled it back for Perez! Into the side netting. Again there, Newcastle so close to wrapping up the points.
Great bit of play by Slimani again there. It's done Mustafi all ends up. I don't know what he's diving in there for either. And Perez is unlucky. Tight angle to finish from the second chance, but here's the Kennedy chance again. Czech was beaten all ends up, wasn't he?
So close to looping into the back of the net, off the outstretched Mustafi, but in the end denied by the crossbar. I think Arsenal are making another change here. Callum Chambers is making his way off.
Maitland-Niles has come on.
Ainsley Maitland-Niles, another of the young gunners, will come on for the final 12 minutes.
Tell you what he's going to do, he's going to leave Mustafi a little bit more exposed than what Chambers was doing. So be interested to see how Arsenal get on in the last 15 minutes of this game.
I think Newcastle are going to react as well. All eyes on the home bench. Joselu will be called upon for the conclusion of this game. Jose Perez, who's run himself into the ground up front, makes way. Well, again, Joselu, a bit more of a physical presence to go in and play alongside Slimani.
Yeah, I think he's got a little bit more legs as well, isn't he, at this stage of the game. Perez has worked tirelessly. He's scored a goal. He's set up a goal. He's had a very, very good afternoon, and if the game finishes as it is, he's been a massive player, hasn't he? He's carried out his job to a T, though. He's been sitting in that midfield, him and the other striker, been working hard, forcing Arsenal into mistakes, and yeah, I think the manager will be very, very pleased with his afternoon's work.
Scored 4 goals this season, Joselu, all 4 here at St James's Park. Signed, of course, from Stoke City in the summer. I'm not sure who's top of Rafa Benitez's list of targets, but relatively cheap acquisition, £5 million. Xhaka playing it back to Mustafi inside the Arsenal half. The away supporters just getting a bit frustrated. What they're seeing from the team from North London. Xhaka trying to switch it out for Monreal. Couldn't keep it in play. It will be a throw for Newcastle. Arsenal 10 minutes away, Steve, from their 11th defeat of the season.
Unheard of, isn't it? Since Wenger's been there. There's just not a spark about them. They just don't seem to have that in them to get themselves out of this hole that they're in at the minute.
I think the most damning indictment is that we're not surprised they're losing.
No, it's sad.
It's not a shock, is it?
No.
Would have been a mild surprise.
You didn't come
if
to
they
this
won
game.
the game.
You didn't come to this game this afternoon thinking it's nailed on 3 points for Arsenal, which is what you always used to do.
Absolutely.
You come in there going, and I'll tell you what, the players of the other teams think the same thing when they turn up.
And you look at some of the places they've come a cropper, particularly away from home this season. They lost at Brighton, they've lost at Watford, and of course Troy Deeney accused them of lacking kahunas. I think he had a point, didn't he?
Definitely. You know what he's trying to say. Obviously, sometimes people use the wrong words and it comes back to bite them. But I think you know what he's talking about. Look at them; they're quite happy, just keeping the ball and not really going anywhere.
52,000, just over, inside St James's Park. Most of them had a very enjoyable afternoon in the sunshine. Newcastle leading by 2-1. We're into the last 10 minutes of this one. Eddie Kennedy on Twitter says Arsenal defending is the stuff of youth sides. Difficult to disagree. Listening in the USA, Jay Russell says great commentary, makes me feel like I'm here in person. I don't really want to read this one out. Listening lying on the beach in Jamaica, says Milo. Come on, you Gunners. We're not jealous at all, honest. Here's Slimani bulldozing down the left for Newcastle once again. Maitland-Niles, the substitute, does well for Arsenal and then clears it upfield. Iwobi touches it back for Mustafi, and now Petr Cech inside the penalty area. El Neni takes over for Arsenal. Xhaka now into the path of Monreal, the left fullback. Lacazette, been very subdued in this second half, manages to keep possession. El Neni inside the centre circle to Iwobi. Danny Welbeck picking up the ball midway inside the Newcastle half, a few yards in from the right touchline, gives it to Maitland-Niles just to his right. Granit Xhaka being urged to shoot by the Arsenal fans. He plays it instead into Aubameyang, who lays it back to Xhaka. Xhaka with a chance to cross low from the left hand side, turned behind by Yedlin for a corner.
Problem you got with Arsenal is you do know at any moment they can score a goal and the game changes completely again, doesn't it? So
yeah, we do have that in their locker.
They have to be on their mettle, Newcastle.
I didn't mention that list of away roll of dishonour, if you like. They lost, of course, away from home against Nottingham Forest in the FA Cup in the third round.
Yeah, they did.
It was a pitiful defence of their trophy. Arsene Wenger very animated in his white shirt and red tie, barking orders, hands in his pockets as he turns disconsolately back to the dugout.
They need to do something in this last 10 minutes to get themselves back in the game, because you don't want to be losing again away from home, especially going into a big couple of weeks of European football if he's not taking the league as seriously as he was before.
Yeah, you need to build up some momentum for that Atletico double-header, don't you, as well?
Definitely.
Here is Kennedy, expertly controlled inside the Arsenal half, plays it back to Diame, and now John Joe Shelvey sensibly recycling possession for Newcastle all the way back to his goalkeeper Dubravka. Long ball forward from him. Header won by Hosselu. Matt Ritchie at the moment has got the winning goal for Newcastle. Can't hold it up. Check and Maitland-Niles almost playing themselves into a pickle. Danger not over yet. Mustafi clips it forward for Xhaka halfway inside his own half. Now Xhaka into the feet of Monreal. Aubameyang with his back to goal picks up possession on the halfway line. Xhaka squeezes it out to the right, Maitland-Niles. 6 minutes for Arsenal to rescue the game. They trail 2-1 here on Premier League Live. Welbeck 5 yards outside the penalty area into the feet of Xhaka. Monreal's got some space inside that 18-yard box. He pulls it back for Lacazette. Iwobi's going to shoot right-footed, and a tremendous block by Ritchie, the goal scorer. Newcastle putting their bodies on the line, and then Shelby tries to chip it forward for Slimani. Couldn't quite pick out the Algerian, and Arsenal have it back with Monreal. Monreal's cross into the area. Lejeune made a mess of the header, and then the goalkeeper Dubravka misses his punch, and Lacazette finds the side netting.
Had a moment there, didn't they, the goalkeeper? He's got to come out and take everyone out in his path there. He's just flapped at it, to be fair to him. Lacazette's unlucky. John Joe Shelby will be devastated though, because he had a great opportunity to put his forward in. He just misplaced the pass.
Well, Matt Ritchie is the latest Newcastle player to make way, their final change of the game. Jacob Murphy has not really been able to ever look like holding down a regular place this season since his £12 million move from Norwich last summer. Will come on.
So one thing he's got, bags of pace at this stage in the game where it's opened up. He'll be herring down that touchline. Arsenal made a sub as well.
Is it Eddie Nketiah, I think, who's come on, isn't it?
Yes.
And certainly all hands on deck now in terms of strikers.
The arms.
Nketiah, the youngster who made his mark in the EFL Cup earlier in the season. I think he came on and rescued a game against your old club Norwich, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he did, yeah. They've got everyone on the pitch now that they can do to try and get something out of this game, so at least he's going for it.
Didn't actually see who he came on for. We'll try and work that out in just a moment. Alex Iwobi it is who's gone off. So Arsenal now with Welbeck, Aubameyang, Lacazette and Nketiah as they try and salvage a point, salvage some pride really, which is all they've got to play for this season, certainly in terms of the Premier League.
Joe, it's nice to see Newcastle's intensity still really, really high. As I know they're not mathematically safe, but they are safe in terms of the way the season's gone, and it's going to be a low points total to stay up this year. But they're still at it, they're still in their shape, they're still in their 4-4-2, forcing Arsenal round them. They've just got to stay tight for the rest of the game, because as I said, Arsenal can create a chance at any moment.
Yeah, and there's no shortage of attacking intent and attacking talent now for Arsenal, as that front four could leave them exposed on the counter-attack though for the likes of Murphy, maybe to use that pace and get in behind. That's certainly what Rafael Benitez will be banking on. We have less than 3 minutes now, plus whatever time Anthony Taylor decides to add on. Newcastle leading 2-1, but Arsenal in possession. Xhaka tries to scoop it forward from Monreal. Murphy back there and heads it clear for Newcastle. Yedlin trying to usher it out of play. Aubameyang made sure that couldn't happen, and then Murphy has played it out for a throw-in for Arsenal, almost level with a halfway line. Taken quickly, Xhaka strolling forward with the ball at his feet, and he was tripped by Joselu. Cheap free kick for Newcastle to concede, and a chance for Arsenal to load up the penalty area and try and deliver a teasing ball in there. Granit Xhaka once again will take the responsibility. Left-footed ball swung into the area, headed away as far as El Neni, midway inside the Newcastle half. Mustafi in the right wing position has played it forward for Nketiah.
Good defending by the Army.
Mo Diarmi.
Saw the danger.
The youngster.
Saw the danger. Got there, used his body.
It's only his second Premier League appearance, Eddie Nketiah, the 18-year-old. He came on as a sub in the 2-1 defeat down at Brighton last month. He did score twice in only his second senior appearance after coming on as substitute against Steve Morrison's old club Norwich in that League Cup win back in October. He scored with his first touch. The ball had only been in play for 3 seconds after he came on as substitute. It's all about making an impact.
Well, great first touch.
Can he make an impact late on here and salvage a draw for Arsenal? You've got to say, since Newcastle scored, they've not exactly peppered Martin Dubravka's goal, have they?
No, they've had the one moment then. Great play by Kennedy. At the one moment when the keeper come and flapped for it. They said they've been pretty comfortable so far. Hopefully we haven't put the kiss of death on them, but you can see what Rafa works on. He works on their shape for this specific game, and they've carried it out to a T so far.
And then he into the feet of Welbeck. Now Granit Xhaka takes over, sweeps it out to Nacho Monreal, who's well forward, but showed too much of that to Murphy. Still got some defending to do here. Murphy to clear his lines. He plays it off Monreal and out for a Newcastle throw down by their own right corner flag. We're into the last few seconds of the 90 minutes. Newcastle lead by 2-1. Arsenal have rescued 15 points from losing positions this season. Only Bournemouth, who seem to be the masters of the late comeback, have salvaged more from behind. We've got 3 added minutes at the end of the game. That's all that separate Newcastle and a win that would all but guarantee their Premier League survival. 2-1 they lead. Lacazette trying to rig it away from Diarmi, who again slides in and wins the ball, but can't clear it away. Or Welbeck tried to play in. Maitland-Niles down the right hand side, couldn't quite get the pass through the crowd of black and white shirts, and the first booking of the game comes in the 91st minute, and it's for Hosselu for kicking the ball away. Slimani, in fact.
It's a good yellow card, though. It's a good yellow card. It's going to kill another 30 seconds.
Thought we were going to go for a whole Premier League game there with no bookings for a moment.
All the tackles, it's for kicking the ball away.
Into the 92nd minute at St James's Park. The home crowd ready to roar their team on to victory. Monreal with a cross into the area, cleared by Kennedy, who's worked tirelessly down that left hand side. He didn't get the maximum leverage on the clearance though, and here's Danny Welbeck trying to shake for the shot against Diarmi, blocked by Lejeune on its way to goal and headed away by Kennedy. Slimani holding it up for Newcastle into Hosselu, didn't really know where he was, but he was brought down by Holding, and it will be a free kick for that barge by Holding inside the centre circle, and again a chance to waste some valuable seconds for Newcastle.
Tell you what, you've got to give some credit to Rafa Avenue with his subs. Both of his subs have made a massive impact on the game. His team selection, his shape, what he's worked on, you know exactly what Newcastle have been trying to do. They've carried it out to a T, and his subs have won in the game.
Rafael Benitez letting Newcastle know exactly where he wants this free kick down by the corner flag. It's out for an Arsenal throw.
They squeeze in.
We're into the last 60 seconds. The Newcastle fans, many of them on their feet.
Tell you what, that was good to see, wasn't it? Newcastle, St James's Park absolutely ran to the rafters.
And what an achievement from Rafael Benitez and his side to secure Premier League football all but mathematically for another season with this victory against an Arsenal side who have certainly put all their eggs in the Europa League basket, judging by this performance. John Joe Shelby swipes the ball into touch for an Arsenal throw.
Could be it.
One last chance maybe for Arsenal to get the ball forward. Rafael Benitez kicking every ball down below us. El Neni takes the throw. Look at the foul throw.
Foul throw, yeah.
Referee allows Arsenal to continue.
No rush to go forward, Arsenal, are they?
And then was he fouled there by Hosselu?
All over.
Full-time whistle blows. Newcastle United will be a feature in the Premier League for next season. A win that takes them beyond the magic 40-point survival target. It's a 5th straight away defeat for Arsenal in the league for the first time since 1984. The first time ever that they've managed that in the Premier League era. It was on as even at half-time after Lacazette had given Arsenal the early lead, cancelled out by a Jose Perez third goal in as many matches 15 minutes later. And the key moment came 22 minutes from time. Matt Ritchie with his third goal of the season to give us a full-time score that will have reverberations from here to Madrid and back. Newcastle 2, Arsenal 1. Out to their left-hand side. Here's Mustafi now in the sunshine at St James's Park. Long ball forward, and Aubameyang brings it down neatly in the penalty area. Pulls it back for Lacazette. That's a terrific goal for Arsenal. Aubameyang the provider, and Alexander Lacazette scores for the Gunners for the 11th time. A typical flowing Arsenal move to which Newcastle had no answer. 14 minutes gone. Newcastle 0, Arsenal 1. Shelby with the ball forward again, looking for Gown, and again he's in behind Mustafi. Lays it off for Yedlin with a low cross for Perez.
What a goal that is.
Super equaliser for Newcastle.
What a goal.
And it's a Jose Perez with his 7th for the season.
John Joe Shelby has found the pass there that no one saw. and that is an unbelievable ball. Dwight Gale is, I'd say he's had a bad first touch because he'd have wanted to take it himself, but he's taken himself out wide and set the ball foot to Yedlin, and it's a great pass. And Perez, that finish, that's top draw. A little bit of movement away to go forward, got across Mustafi, and what a finish into the bottom corner of that.
And to his goal tally for the season, but here's Ritchie in the penalty area, and Newcastle United take the lead. Well, he did it here against Manchester United, and Matt Ritchie takes down another of the Premier League big guns. The Arsenal defence carved open, and Ritchie with a right-footed shot lifted it over Cech to make it Newcastle 2, Arsenal 1. So a famous win for Newcastle then to all but mathematically secure their Premier League status. It's a great achievement from Rafael Benitez and his players, but all the focus really will be on Arsenal. Another away defeat, 5 in a row now in the Premier League, and Diego Simeone will have been watching that as part of his scouting report, and he'll be licking his lips, won't he? They couldn't handle Islam Slimani, let alone Antoine Griezmann and company.
100%. No, they were not very good today at the back. They got their goal early and you thought they were going to kick on from there, but they just didn't. They just settled for that, and Newcastle were a better team from there on in and thoroughly deserved the win. And Rafa got his tactics spot on, got his sub spot on. The strikers worked tirelessly all game. Diarmi was man of the match for me. He was absolutely brilliant everywhere. Shelvey showed his passing range off again, and it was 3 points that they deserved massively. And Arsenal, it's getting boring to say the same thing week in, week out, but something's got to change. All they've got to play for now is Europa League to see if they can get themselves in the Champions League. But off the back of this showing, I know they've got a couple of players missing, but their back four is still exactly the same. And
really that Europa League run, and it's just been proven today, it's just papering over the cracks, isn't it? Because they still haven't really got a top-class central defender, they haven't got a top-class holding midfielder. They're still trying to find a way to shoehorn Aubameyang and Lacazette, who are both quiet in that second half, into the same team. More questions than answers for Arsenal fans.
Yeah, definitely. They're a bad team at the back. They are a really bad team. I think anyone fancies playing them. And I'll tell you, Newcastle wouldn't have been turning up today in their home ground worried about, are they going to be able to score against Arsenal? Are we going to be able to get the ball back off them? Because they know they're not the team they used to be, and they know they're going to get chances, and it's exactly what happened. And as I said, they made a change, and if anything, they got more chances, and they were even better. And you just don't see any leaders out there for us. You don't see anyone who's making sure the mistakes don't happen. And time again, look, there's 6-7 players around players, and they're still getting chances because everyone's waiting for someone else to do it. And you can't rely on scoring more than the opposition every single game.
And you talk about game management and the impact the managers can have from the bench. All of the changes that Rafael Benitez made in the second half, particularly bringing on Slimani, but the Arsenal defence just couldn't handle, really benefited his team. And Wenger was just desperate with his change at the end. He threw on Welbeck. I didn't really understand that change for Iwobi. I thought maybe Lacazette should have gone off at that point. Then Nketiah came on. They had 4 out-and-out strikers, and it just left them open on the counter-attack.
Yeah, they had 4 out-and-out strikers. They never got the ball forward once. They carried on playing, keeping it, and there's just no real pattern. There's no real desire to go and win the game. They all look very comfortable football players at the minute. They all look very comfortable in their situation. They've got no one breathing down their necks for their position. They're not fighting for survival. They're not fighting for Champions League. They're just going out there and playing football, and if it happens, it happens. And let's put it this way, against Atletico Madrid, they're going to have to be the best Arsenal they've been all season, because I'll tell you, Atletico Madrid are very good defensively, and going forward they've got one of the most sought after players in the world.
So Newcastle winners here by 2-1 at St James's Park. Manchester United against West Bromwich Albion to come. Quick prediction for that one, Steve Morrison. You going to stick your neck out and say West Brom win?
Yeah, I'd like to see West Brom get a win, just so they're not losing week in, week out, because they've got some really good players down there, some really good lads, but I can't see past Man United.
And Lukaku guaranteed a goal against one of his old clubs?
Definitely, it always happens, doesn't it? But I think let's see what Pogba turns up this week, because if he turns up like the one in the second half at Man City, it could could be a very, very good afternoon for him.
It could get very messy indeed. My thanks to Steve Morrison for his expert opinions this afternoon. Best of luck to you as well in that championship promotion battle which is unfolding between now and the end of the season. Full time here at St James's Park. Another defeat for Arsenal as their away woes continue. 2-1 to Newcastle. It finished. You are listening to Premier League Live.
Premier League football is a truly global game, and TalkSport is the global audio partner of the Barclays Premier League.
It's a massive goal!
With live commentary of all 380 matches this season, available at TalkSport.com in English, Spanish or Mandarin every weekend.
What a goal! What a fantastic strike!
The event horizon of world-class football. Visit TalkSport.com to find out more.
If you're outside the UK and Ireland, we've got you covered.
Salah into the penalty area. Mo Salah gets it through. Firmino! 3-0. Counter-attacking football at its best. Roberto Firmino.
TalkSport's international service covers every Premier League match live.
Here's Aguero trying to find a way through. Sergio Aguero, as he does so well. Brilliant goal. Marvellous goal by Sergio Aguero.
Full commentary, pre- and post-match analysis, and goals as they go in from every single Premier League match.
Ball comes in towards Willian, breaks back to Pedro. It's 3-0 to Chelsea, and it's all too easy.
Hear goals as they go in from around the grounds during our featured commentary match.
Calvert-Lewin gets it back from Rooney as well. Again, better from Everton. Crosses the middle. It's Lennon with the header this time. The keeper spills it, and Wayne Rooney turns it home.
Every game is covered.
Mesut Ozil wants it back. This would be a lovely goal. Mesut Ozil into Olivier Giroud. Arsenal have doubled their advantage. It's a simply superb goal from Arsenal. A beautiful collective move.
Get involved in debates. Ask in-game questions to our commentary team and get goal updates with @TalkSport Live on Twitter.
Here's the corner, swung in well on, and it's a goal! West Ham have equalised, and Cheku Kouyaté is celebrating. The equaliser for West Ham from the corner in the final minute of the first half.
This is Premier League Live.
Headed away that time by Stevens, and that's deflected and in! Ashley Young with a shot, it's off of Lewis Dunk, and it curls into the top corner. Ashley Young will take the credit for it, but it's a wicked deflection off of Lewis Dunk.
Kick-by-kick commentary, expert opinion, international coverage of the world's most exciting football league. Premier League Live, brought to you by TalkSport Live.
Go to TalkSport.com and sign up now to play the free TalkSport Predictor game. Predict the results of the English Premier League games this season for the chance to win top-flight weekly prizes. From the Gunners getting away goals at Anfield to epic finishes at the Etihad. Click TalkSport.com/predictor and register now for the chance to go top of the table in the ultimate football fan tournament. The TalkSport English Premier League Predictor game. Available online and for free at TalkSport.com/predictor.
Premier League Live with TalkSport.
Left-footed drive, which is spilled by Hart, and the rebound's in for 3. Oh my word! It just gets worse.
All the big goals and big moments from the world's biggest football league.
4 goals for Mo Salah. He puts his hands over his eyes as if he can't believe it.
Whether it's the glory of victory or the dejection of defeat, TalkSport gets you right into the thick of English football's top league.
It's a 5-star show for the Premier League champions in waiting.
Premier League Live with TalkSport.
Welcome to TalkSport's coverage of Manchester United against West Bromwich Albion from Old Trafford. I'm your host, Phil Blackett. Alongside me is the former West Ham, Crystal Palace and Albion defender, Daniel Gabardon. You are listening to Premier League Live. Well, it's a game with big implications for both ends of the Premier League table. Defeat against the odds for Manchester United here would confirm Manchester City as champions tonight. But on a run of 5 straight league wins, Jose Mourinho's men will be expected to push West Brom further towards their fate at the bottom. Swansea Swansea's draw yesterday means the Baggies can't be mathematically relegated tonight, but defeat would leave them 12 points adrift of safety with just 12 points left to play for. Let us start by running you through the team news today. Manchester United making a couple of changes from that dramatic 3-2 victory at Manchester City last weekend. No Eric Bailly for this one. Victor Lindelof comes back into the heart of defence, and Juan Mata is preferred to Jesse Lingard. So it's David De Gea in goal. They're captained by Antonio Valencia from right back. Chris Smalling partners Lindelof in the centre of defence. Smalling the match winner last week, of course. Ashley Young at left back. Ander Herrera and Nemanja Matic in midfield, with Paul Pogba just ahead of them. 2 goals against City last week, nominally keeping the title race alive. Mata and Alexis Sanchez in support of Romelu Lukaku, 1 goal away from his best ever scoring season and facing a former club today. Joel Pereira, Phil Jones, Marcus Rojo, Anthony Martial, Jesse Lingard, Marcus Rashford and Scott McTominay of the Manchester United substitutes for this one, for the visit of the Baggies, who are unchanged, I can tell you, from last week's draw against Swansea City. Ben Foster, facing a former club, is in goal. And we have Alan Neom, Craig Dawson, Ahmed Hegazi and Kieran Gibbs as the back four. Jake Livermore and the captain Chris Brunt in the heart of midfield. Matt Phillips and James McLean wide. And Jay Rodriguez likely to be in just behind Salomon Rondon up top. Boaz Myhill, Claudio Jakob, Daniel Sturridge notably back amongst the substitutes after a hamstring problem. Ali Gabir, the Egyptian international, hoping for a Premier League debut. Oliver Burke, Gregor Krychowiak and Sam Field, another returning from injury, are on the bench for the Baggies today. Alongside me in the commentary position, as I say, is Danny Gabardon. Long odds-on favourites, aren't they, shall we say? Let's put it that way, Manchester United. Can you see anything other than a home win here?
Being an ex-West Brom player, I would love to say that they can go there to Old Trafford and pick up all 3 points, and you never know. You know, the Premier League does throw out some strange results. They've got nothing to lose. West Brom as a team now, they need to try and win every single game that they've got left to give themselves any chance of staying in the Premier League. But I mean, you look at Manchester United's home record this season. I think they've only lost 1 game all season. Been very good at home, played some really good football, scoring goals. So, you know, it's a difficult task for the Baggies going there today. So I think all the stats point towards a Manchester United win, you'd have to say.
And it's just 1 defeat, that against Manchester City in their last 33 Premier League home games. So a look at the teams picked by the respective bosses today. Best golfing experience as managers, of course, in Darren Moore, just his 2nd game in charge, up against Jose Mourinho, who has opted for a couple of changes. Lindelof coming in with Eric Bailly not involved today, and also Juan Mata in preference to Jesse Lingard, showcasing maybe their strength in depth in those positions, where crucially Pogba and Alexis Sanchez, certainly in the second half against City last week, look like they're finding their form.
Yeah, I think so. It looks like they're starting to gel. Obviously the first half against City was a nightmare. They were all over the place, but they had nothing to lose, being 2-0 down. You know, they went for it and produced a superb second half performance. Paul Pogba, for me, what you see him doing in the second half of that game is what he's all about, really. When you see him coming deep to get the ball off the back four, you know, that's where you want to see him as an opposition player. I don't think he's effective there. You know, he looks neat and tidy on the ball, but he's not hurting players from those deep positions. When you see him driving into the box, making those late runs, getting on the end of things, providing those assists higher up the pitch, that's what he's all about. That's where you want to see more of him today. So looking at their line with Matic and Herrera sitting, you would expect him to be that advanced one, maybe playing a little bit off the left where he likes to play, linking it with Sanchez on that left-hand side. So I always like where Matt's in the team as well. I think he just brings that bit of guile. He's very clever on the ball, makes the right decisions on the ball, when to slow play down, when to quicken it up. So I think that's a really nice mix there. And obviously Lukaku's had a fantastic first season for United. So dangers for West Brom all over the pitch from a Manchester United point of view. From a Baggies point of view, if you're looking at some way where maybe you can get at United, I think maybe Victor Lindelof coming into the side. If I'm Salomon Rondon today, I'm latching myself onto him as much as possible. I still think he's adapting to the Premier League, lacks a bit of physicality, can be bullied. I've seen him bullied 2 or 3 occasions when he's played this season. So if Salomon Rondon can get some joy against him, maybe Matt Phillips on the right hand side, who was very good actually last week against Swansea, provided some good delivery. Maybe they can, maybe hurt United on the counter-attack if they commit too many bodies forward. But going to be a difficult one for West Brom. You have to say, I think, was it one away win all season, I think, for them. So, things need to improve quickly.
Yeah, won one of the last 25 away from home since the start of last year's 3 Premier League wins, of course, all season. On the brink of the drop, they have, though, won on 2 of the last 4 visits to Old Trafford, just to give West Brom fans maybe some hope to hold on to. We got much more to come in the build-up to kick-off here, which is just under 25 minutes away. First, though, let's remind you of the action from the first game of the day in the Premier League. Another impressive win for Newcastle. Their fine run of form goes on. Arsenal beaten at St James's Park. This is how it happened.
Puts out to the left-hand side. Here's Mustafi now in the sunshine at St James's Park. Long ball forward, and Aubameyang brings it down neatly in the penalty area. Pulls it back for Lacazette. That's a terrific goal for Arsenal. Aubameyang the provider, and Alexander Lacazette scores for the Gunners for the 11th time. A typical flowing Arsenal move to which Newcastle had no answer. 14 minutes gone. Newcastle 0, Arsenal 1. Shelby with the ball forward again, looking for Galvin. Again, he's in behind Mustafi. Lays it off for Yedlin with a low cross for Perez.
What a goal that is.
Super equaliser for Newcastle.
What a goal.
And it's a Jose Perez with his 7th for the season.
John Joe Shelby has found the pass there that no one saw, and that is an unbelievable ball. Dwight Gale is, I'd say he's had a bad first touch, he didn't want to take it in himself, but he's taken himself out wide and set the ball for to Yedlin, and it's a great pass. And Perez, that finish, that's top draw. A little bit of movement away to go forward, got across Mustafi, and what a finish into the bottom corner that.
And to his goal tally for the season, but here's Ritchie in the penalty area! And Newcastle United take the lead! Well, he did it here against Manchester United, and Matt Ritchie takes down another of the Premier League big guns. The Arsenal defence carved open, and Ritchie with a right-footed shot, lifting it over check to make it Newcastle 2, Arsenal 1.
2 on the way. It finished in Newcastle's favour. Takes them past the 40-point mark, up into the top 10 actually as a result of that. Arsenal beaten again though for them. It looks all about the Europa League now. But Danny Gabbard and Newcastle, 4 straight wins. They were involved in the thick of the relegation battle not so long ago. But what a